How would it feel to have a thriving fitness business and have the freedom to enjoy life at the fullest? Well, that is exactly what the Trainer Revenue Multiplier Show is going to give you. My name is Mathew Park. This is Jaime Filer.
Hey guys.
And we are here to serve.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Trainer Revenue Multiplier podcast. As always, I am your host, Jaime Filer, and I'm joined today by Alvin Brown, who is just coming off an incredible platinum call, always bringing heat, white hot flames to the topic of mindset. Alvin, how are you doing today?
I am doing amazing, especially having a little chat with you, short and sweet, but I always enjoy them. So I'm doing great.
Amazing. And it's always a pleasure. I still feel like I always get so much value.
Love it. Me too. It's a two-way street.
Amazing.
Two-way street.
Alvin, let's dive in, because I want people to get, similar to what platinum gets. I want people on the podcast to understand why you do what you do. How come mindset is so crucial for fitness professionals when it comes to growing a business?
Beautiful question. Here's the deal. You are your business. A business is either as successful or not so much because of the person running it at the end of the day. We are our business. The health of your mind, your body, and your spirit is also the health of your business. The people that you lead, if you happen to lead a bigger company, they look to you how to show up. They look to you how to set the pace. So working on yourself is one of the greatest work you could ever do, because you are the business. And so over on the presentation I just gave, I showed, as I purged my office down after 30 years, I've realized, stepping back, that I worked with thousands of people, and between working with thousands one-on-one and also speaking in thousands. So I've picked up a lot of information about us, and a lot of us, there's two quotes that I want to bring back. Henry David Thoreau, he said, "So many people live lives of quiet desperation." And the other one I want to bring back is Sadhguru. He said, "We commit suicide in installments." And that's because each day we don't live the life we're supposed to live. We kind of skirt around it, and we kind of play down. We play small, either so someone won't feel insecure around us, as Marianne Williamson say, or we don't want to be vulnerable. So, and when we pop out of that womb, we had a whole bunch of narratives that cause us to live smaller, not live as ourselves, not live as what we feel. Because are you enough? Am I black enough? Am I man enough? Am I this enough? Am I that? Am I educated enough? Am I whatever? So the goal is that we want to break free and free ourselves from all of that, and live in alignment and run our business in alignment. Everything is about alignment.
Yeah. So Alvin, that's actually a perfect segue to a shameless plug. Your recent book, Bet on Yourself, you break down 8 characteristics.
Yeah.
Can you give us 3 out of the 8 that would directly affect a fitness professional as they grow within their business?
Yeah. So this title, great conversation here, because this title actually came because I was talking to someone, and he had all the potential in the world to be whatever he wanted to be. However, he's now seeing me and for coaching, and he's totally off base. His life is not where he wanted to be, basically. So I was saying to him, "Oh, bet on yourself." But I thought, there's things you need to have before you go betting on yourself. You need to have, first of all, focus. So the fitness leader, trainer, focus. Network. How's your network? Who are you hanging out with? Because they have a massive effect on you. Who are you hanging out with? Do you have a positive mental attitude? And how do you train yourself to have that positive mental attitude? So those are those 3 of the 8 that I can think of that can totally affect the, and as much as positive mental attitude might sound woo woo, or like something light,
It's
it's not.
everything.
It's everything.
Oh, it's
It's
it's the
everything.
foundation. It's the heaviest. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. You can't
Yeah.
solve a problem with the same negative brain that created it. Bottom line.
Alvin, how do you reframe the negative brain? Do you
Oh,
replace? Do you completely wash away? Short of having a lobotomy, how
yeah.
do you get rid of those automatic negative thoughts in
Oh,
order to
wow.
reframe?
Deep, deep question. And it's not, I'm going to be real with you. It's not overnight, because it's a
Sure.
practice. Negative mental attitude is a practice. It's a practice thinking about what's going to go wrong. Oftentimes, oh, that third shoe, two things happen today. I wonder where the third shoe, and we start looking for that third shoe to drop, or that third thing to happen, or whatever it is. Things happen in threes. So we start looking for it. And guess what we do? We take our eye off of what all the great things that have happened. And we start, and maybe this behavior, this mindset came from your parent, who
Yeah.
also you heard growing up worried about everything, because they came from a different generation, by the way. And fair enough, when they were coming down the pipe, you had wars, you had oppression, you had a lot different scenarios. So they, in order to protect you, they taught you about the world, their world, and you bought it.
Mm,
And when we buy it, we look for things to confirm it, and we find it in,
right.
so yeah, it's a process, definitely a process that we have to create.
Tell me specifically about self doubt, because Alvin, we talk a lot about imposter syndrome in TRM, and we talk about a negative mental attitude,
Hmm.
specifically in the realm of self doubt. What
Hmm.
are 2 or 3 strategies or affirmations or tools you can
Hmm.
give people who are like, there's no way I can be successful?
Hmm. What's funny about self-doubt? I remember one of my friends said, why don't we doubt? So if we doubt ourselves, why don't we doubt the self-doubt? Do the same thing, right? Why don't we doubt the self-doubt? If it's so easy to doubt ourselves, why don't we doubt the self-doubt? I mean, it's a little mental gymnastics, but if I doubt myself, why don't I doubt the doubt? Why
Mm,
do I why do I support the doubt
yep.
when I doubt myself? Why not doubt the doubt? Anyways, it's just something to think about. Why don't we doubt the doubt? But how can we go over self doubt? I
Yep.
would love someone to think about what's the narrative behind the self doubt. What gave us that? Is it the narrative that I might fail, quote unquote? Is it the narrative
Yeah.
of what someone would say? Maybe a parent or someone of influence told you you'd never make it, and that it got embedded, and now that runs under the radar when you try to think, oh, what are they going to say? What if I fail? They're going to prove them right. And also, one other thing I want to mention is sometimes it's not a fear of failure, it's a fear of success. What if I'm successful?
Yeah.
There's a bigger, it's a bigger fall to happen if I'm successful. So there's so much to why we do what we do, that you'd have to dive in and find out what is that person's narrative that runs that makes them doubt themselves. Maybe they've had quote unquote, the word failure, and it's confirmed that their mother was right. That if they tried this thing and went out there
Yep.
and that would happen, or their father was right. Or I've had someone who wanted to be an entrepreneur, and her father was an entrepreneur, but he had some failures that he taught her, don't ever do this because I failed.
Yep.
And she's seen him fail, but does she know that he did the right things in order to have this failure happen? So it's an interesting game, the doubt.
I like that. And Alvin, if I could add something to your doubt the doubt, which I think
Hmm.
is it's so easy. That's one of those things where guys, like, if you stop the podcast here and only got one thing that you could remember and keep using, doubt the doubt. One
Hmm.
thing I heard was fact check your limiting beliefs. Because
Yeah.
if there's
Boom.
even one instance in which 1 + 1 does not equal 2, then it can never always be the case. So if there's one instance where you thought you couldn't do something and then you did, then it can't be a truth. It can't be a fact because you've doubted the doubt, right? You've fact checked it and said, well, I've already overcome some hard stuff, so I could probably overcome this hard thing too.
Jamie, I got something for you to chew on.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. What if I fact checked Jamie and I found out I was wrong and I'm not as stupid or I'm not as inept? What about my story though, Jamie? I've been working that story for 20 years. It's been my story.
Okay.
So you want me to get rid of my story, Jamie? This has been like how I get my friends, and this is how I'm very comfortable with that story now. And if I get rid of it, I have to tell people that I'm success. Ooh, isn't that cocky? Like, Jamie. So I'll give you an example before you take it over. And I remember buying my first new car, brand new car. Drove it off the lot. Smells. You can smell it. It's just new, right? And Jamie, I gotta tell you, I had narratives running in my head like, who's gonna come and ask me for money? What are people gonna think? Do I think I'm cocky? So I'm so used to when I got a new car. When you ask me about it, oh, that's a nice car. I'd love to tell you that. Oh no, I fixed that up. I did the motor. I had to do all these things to it. It's not really new, because I didn't feel comfortable saying I got a new car. So just to spin it back, Jamie, you want me to fact check my story? That I've seen my friends, they have the same story. You want me now to go and say no? That's how I built my life. So that's just something to think about, is we become comfortable with the story.
Okay, so let's flip this entire conversation and narrative on its head. People are already successful. They're making 6 figures. They're making 7 figures. What else can they do in a positive way to cultivate more of the good, and it's more of the latitude?
All right, Jamie. So I just had a thought as you're saying that. You just stimulated a new path. What if you raise the bar, Jamie, on your goal? So say, for instance, 100,000. Use a round number. Say if your goal was 100 grand, right?
Yeah.
And you hit it, and now you're starting to have imposter syndrome pop up, and maybe it's lucky, what if we instead moved the bar a bit to 200,000? Would you dissolve the thermostat? Would you move the thermostat then and get a little hotter? So because sometimes when we get there, we, again, like me, I drove off the car and I wonder who's gonna come and ask me for it, and are they gonna think, if I can't lend them, should I be taking care of the broke? And and there's a great quote I read that said, or wisdom that said, the best thing you can do for the broke or the poor or the downtrodden is not become one of them. Right? So how many times have you seen MC Hammer? The greatest story is MC Hammer made millions in his time, and he was broke after because he had a big entourage attempting to help them when he hasn't fully helped himself yet. So to answer your question about the imposter and getting that level, I wonder, this is a new thought, I wonder if you raised it, the push beyond the 100 to 150, then your limit, and keep stretching yourself a little bit more to see if you can, so you don't actually get, because sometimes, remember Les Brown wisdom, I'm a quote man, but anyway, I call them wisdom now because they're not actually just empty quotes. He said the problem with us humans is that we don't set a goal too high and miss, we set it too low and hit. So why don't we keep raising that bar a little bit, just, and not for greed, but for the sake of, I can do more, let's see what I'm made of. And then maybe the imposter syndrome might be a solution. And I mean, there's other solutions you have, as in assessing we talked about, where's the narrative of what your worth is, where's that coming from? You said it best, is take inventory of your narrative and fact check it. Those are other ways you can logically do it, is fact check. And if that doesn't work, again, raising that bar, push it a little higher than you had it at. If some people who lose the 100 pounds, they gain it back. What if you did set it to 110 And now
Right.
that just something I'm playing with, maybe that's a solution for someone.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. And it reminds me, and now it's my turn to bring out a quote. Marianne
Yes,
Williamson, right? She
yes,
talks about
yes.
who am I? Who am I to be great? Who am I to be all these
My
things?
talents
But
is
really, at the end of
gorgeous.
the
Yeah,
day, who am I not to be?
to be
Very
you're a
similar
child
to
of God.
Thoreau's quote. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Love it.
I think that's also
That's my jam. Oh, Jamie's frozen a bit.
business owner. Like I have it and not you.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, Jamie, we're not. Some people look at Jamie and say, "Oh, well, she's more braver than I am, but she's more this than I am. She's more gifted." Oh, but you had a father or parent at one time, and I don't have that though. Jamie's no, Jamie. She's just brave. She's born that way. So I just
Yep.
don't have that. Yeah,
Okay.
right.
Amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Alvin, what else in terms of mindset do you notice like that specifically business owners need?
mhm.
Like the people that come to your table, what are they holding on to?
Paradigm shifting is another thing about and letting go in if you have to decide. So here's a thing that my coach mentor gave me, and it's massively helpful. He said, Alvin, you can be one of two things. I think a mistaken identity is what I would call this. You can be a business builder or an income producer. And what that means is I was always great at producing income. You know what I'm not good at, and I don't seem to be getting great at, is scaling and making it a massive business. And because I'm so people focused and so sharing focused, see, to be a true business builder, and I'm talking Bedros Koulian, multiple locations, and maybe the Good Lives of Canada or wherever else, the Planet Fitness. You have to be able to let go of wanting to connect with everybody, okay, and become a
Yeah.
more of a leader, become more of a, it takes a different skill set. So my advice to anybody out there is figure out, do you love, not like, do you love connecting with people and having that instant gratification fed to you where you make the change and they tell you and you feel and you hug and you know that, or do you have a long-term vision of building this business,
Hmm.
creating different scales and how to scale up and how to and forms and systems and uh, where you're hands off, you may be working with one CEO and they can, but you're not interested in too much in touching, feeling, and getting that warm hug and sharing the conversation. You have to figure that out, because I was always interested in how do I connect with you, but I would
Sure.
never do the things necessary to grow the business. I.e., I was so people focused, but I had to figure that out, Jamie, and be happy
Yeah.
with one location, because I was going to build 5 locations, but I
Okay.
struggled building two. I struggled building two. Emotionally, I struggled building two. So now I'm down to one, and I'm super happy because I figured out what I truly wanted. Not my ego was saying build 5,
Right.
but emotionally, I love connecting with you one on one, touching audiences, working with TRM where I can see every day, oh, there's an impact. I want to see it now. Yeah, right. So I have
Yeah.
to figure that out. So figure that out, and then you'll fly. You'll fly.
So Alvin, I was going to say as our last question, what is one tidbit, what is one piece of advice you could have people walk away with? But if that's not it, please feel free to give us a little bit more.
That clarity is king. I say clarity. I say takes as a business owner, entrepreneur, whatever your dream is, you should carve out. And I think uh, Joe Marcoux in our group. I think it was him I heard it from. I'll give him flowers for this one, and he framed it nicely. He said that every entrepreneur, every leader, every should have think time built in, future pacing time. So every 6 months, and Jamie, even with your partner, you and Katie, you should have time built. Make sure you're on the same path, and your dreams are still the same. The thing you started out with, you're still on the same path. I see too many people go like this, and they don't take time to
Yeah.
think or to focus. So think time, build in your schedule time to go away to your favorite place, your cottage, your quiet place, and think about where am I going? Am I on the right path? Because one of the things that I would give advice is this again, another wisdom is climb the ladder of success. I'm all about climbing, but stop to make sure your ladder is against the right wall, or else you don't want to get there and put in time and energy and find out it was against the wrong wall. So that would be my advice: is
Yeah.
step back, schedule in think time and strategy time, and then go at it, go crazy at it.
Yeah. I love that,
Yeah.
Alvin. Thank you so much for your time. More importantly, thank you for your energy. Appreciate you being in this container, as always, giving us your full heart and mind. Where can people find you and get even more from you?
And before I go, Jamie, I love wherever you're at. I'm loving it. All right. So
Thank
in
you.
that background. All right. So where can they find me? Trainer Revenue Multiplier with you. We're always making an impact together. So online, Trainer Revenue Multiplier.com, and the podcast is there, and the every 11 a.m. on virtual every Tuesday and Thursday we're there. And next is Personal Mastery Training. That's my brand and podcast, and that's what I bring to TRM. You can find me online, Personal Mastery Training Coach online, and also social media, same name, and my podcast. It's on iTunes, Spotify, all the platforms. They're there. You can find me, and love it. Like, subscribe, share, all of that fancy stuff.
Amazing. Amazing.
Awesome.
Alvin, and we are at Trainer Revenue Multiplier on Facebook, Instagram, Apple iTunes.
Yep.
Until the next episode, please make sure you rate, share, subscribe, like, follow Alvin, interact with our stuff so that we can keep delivering value every single week, friends. Have the
Amen.
best rest of your day.
Love it. Thank you, Jamie.
Bye, Alvin.
See you, Jamie.